Beneath the ancient ruins of Abydos, where legends say the gods first walked the earth, lies a discovery so unsettling that it was quietly removed before the world ever learned what it contained. It is one of the most whispered about events in modern Egyptology, the opening of a stone sarcophagus that was never meant to be found. A sarcophagus that, according to leaked notes and worker testimonies, was not empty when it was uncovered, but emptied by officials before anyone else could see what was inside. Today, this event is referred to only in fragments, rumors, and suppressed letters. But behind the silence lies a truth that could change everything we know about the origins of ancient Egypt. This is the story of the Abydos sarcophagus that wasn't empty. The tale begins in 1986. During a restoration project deep within the complex behind the Temple of Seti, archaeologists were cleaning debris from a collapsed floor section when one worker's hammer struck an unusual hollow. Beneath the limestone was a sealed stone lid, smooth, dark, and unlike any of the sarcophagus designs used in the New Kingdom. The workers alerted the supervising archaeologist, who was stunned by what he saw. A massive stone box carved from a single piece of granite so dense that it shouldn't have been possible with the tools of the time. Even stranger, it was oriented differently from every burial in the region. Aligned not east-west, like human burials, but north-south. A direction associated in ancient writings with the path of the gods. Workers began clearing sand around the lid, revealing faint inscriptions carved along its edges. But these were not hieroglyphs. They were angular symbols, older and unfamiliar, similar to the mysterious carvings found in pre-dynastic sites far west of the Nile. One worker described them as too straight, too sharp, as if carved with something hotter than metal. When the supervising archaeologist attempted to record the symbols, he was stopped. A government official arrived within hours. Nobody expected anyone that high-ranking to appear so quickly. The official inspected the stone box silently, then ordered the area sealed off. Workers were sent away. Only a small, hand-picked group remained. Over the next 10 hours, these men worked in complete secrecy as they slowly pried open the lid. What they found inside would never be publicly recorded. But leaked testimony from one of the workers, a man who spoke only decades later, gives us the only surviving clue. According to his account, when the lid finally shifted, a wave of cold air rushed out, as if the chamber had been sealed for thousands of years. Inside, instead of dust and debris, they found a layer of dark resin covering something long and metallic. Not a mummy, not bones. Something smooth, reflective, and shaped unlike anything found in Egyptian burials. He said it resembled a cylinder about the length of a man, perfectly crafted, with lines running down its sides. The object was tightly sealed with resin, as if someone had tried to protect it or hide it. The worker claimed he touched it and felt a faint vibration, like a hum beneath the metal. Before he could speak another word, the official ordered him out of the chamber. He never saw the object again. The next morning, military trucks arrived at Abydos before sunrise. The sarcophagus was hoisted out under heavy guard and taken away under tarps. Every photograph, sketch, and note taken by the team was confiscated. The supervisory archaeologist was reassigned. The workers involved were dispersed to other sites, sworn to silence. And the chamber where the sarcophagus had been found was immediately filled in with limestone blocks, making it appear as though nothing had ever been there. The official report released to the public stated simply, a geological cavity was examined and found to be empty. But the truth had already leaked out in fragments. In the months following the removal, rumors spread among researchers that the sarcophagus contained an object not belonging to any known period of Egyptian history, something pre-dynastic or even pre-human. Some said it was a ritual device used by the followers of Horus. Others believed it was a relic from the mysterious first time Zep Tepi, an era when gods or godlike beings were said to rule Egypt. But the most chilling theory came from a handwritten letter discovered years later in the estate of a deceased historian. The letter, addressed to a colleague, mentioned the Abydos sarcophagus by name. It stated, "They removed an artifact from the vault. Cylindrical, metallic, it was humming, and they will never let the world see it." This letter is the first written confirmation that something inside the sarcophagus was taken. But what exactly could produce a hum inside a sealed granite box buried deep beneath stone? And who placed it there? To understand the significance, we must revisit the Osirian, the massive underground structure beneath Setiai's temple. Unlike the main temple built with limestone, the Osirian is constructed with enormous granite blocks weighing dozens of tons, placed with precision more consistent with megalithic architecture than Egyptian craftsmanship. Some believe the Osirian is far older than the temple above it, a relic from before recorded history. It contains symbols referencing life, resurrection, and the underworld, and it sits only meters away from where the sarcophagus was found. The connection becomes even stronger when examining ancient texts that describe Abydos as the gateway to the mysteries and the place where the first gods descended. These writings speak of a time before the Pharaohs, when beings of light and knowledge brought order to the land. They also mention containers of the divine essence sealed beneath the earth for a future age. Could the metallic cylinder found in the sarcophagus be one of these containers? Could it be a relic preserved by a lost civilization, hidden beneath Abydos for thousands of years? Some researchers believe the object may have been technological, not in the modern sense, but in a way beyond our understanding. Ancient carvings depict rods, pillars, and cylinders held by gods and kings, often associated with power, resurrection, or connection to the divine. These objects, known as was scepters, jet pillars, or ankh-rods, have long been interpreted symbolically. But what if they were based on real, physical devices? One controversial theory suggests the object could have been part of an energy device, a vibrational tool used in rituals or construction. Supporters point to the uncanny acoustics of the Osirian and other Egyptian chambers, which resonate at specific frequencies. These structures may have been designed around sound, vibration, or electromagnetic principles long forgotten. If a device capable of producing such effects existed in ancient times, it would explain why the sarcophagus was sealed so tightly, and why it was removed immediately upon discovery. Another theory claims the object may have been a body capsule used for preserving something far more important than a human body. Some legends describe the early gods, or the kings of the first time, as beings who slept in the earth in coffins of metal, waiting for renewal. Could this be one of those mythical capsules? Could the resin have been applied to keep something intact? The most extraordinary theory, however, suggests the contents of the sarcophagus were linked to a cataclysm, an event at the end of the last ice age that wiped out advanced coastal civilizations. Survivors may have preserved vital knowledge in sealed containers, burying them deep in safe locations like Abydos. Under this theory, the object might be a repository of information, metallic scrolls, engraved records, or devices storing knowledge. But perhaps the most disturbing clue comes from a second leaked testimony. A former guard stationed at Abydos in the late 1980s claimed he saw crates being loaded into a convoy under military supervision. He said one crate made a faint, rhythmic sound, a pulsing vibration, When asked what he heard, he said, "It was like a heartbeat, but not alive." No official source has ever acknowledged this event. Today, the chamber where the sarcophagus was found remains sealed. The passage is blocked. The records of the 1986 excavation have vanished, and the object removed that night has never reappeared, but the mystery refuses to fade. Every detail suggests the Abydos sarcophagus was not empty. It held something crafted with precision, sealed with purpose, and removed with urgency. Something Egypt did not want the world to see. If the object is ever revealed, it could rewrite the story of Abydos, the origins of Egyptian civilization, and possibly the history of humanity itself. It could confirm the existence of a lost age, a forgotten people, or a technology capable of harnessing forces we no longer understand. The Abydos sarcophagus that wasn't empty remains hidden, but its silence echoes through every forbidden chamber, every sealed vault, and every erased record in Egypt. One day, that silence may break, and when it does, the world may learn the truth buried beneath Abydos, a truth older than history, older than Egypt, and older than the world we think we know.